A new wave of the eternal struggle between good and evil is breaking out with new vigor, weaving in modern technology. Will the devil be able to capitalize on the scientific advances of hell on earth? How can the forces of good resist the fusion of demonic forces?
Watch fantastic recaps by fans of the movies.
In ancient times, Lucifer rebelled against God, but Archangel Michael defeated him, condemning the devil to the earth's underworld where he got chained to a rock. The devil vowed to return as Lord. Over time, demons joined him. On earth, Lucifer's followers built a temple at his fall site, awaiting his return. In Turin, Italy, American student Laura Milton seeks a review of her work from a university professor. However, he deems her views unsuitable for the local institution. Despite the professor's suggestion of a more intimate meeting, Laura declines this time. In the local cathedral, the museum arranges an art exhibition featuring objects from the Vatican. The main exhibit will be the Shroud of Turin. Jesus' shroud, which contains his DNA, will be on public display for the first time in decades. Laura meets with Father Marconi, who has gotten her a pass to the exhibit as an art historian. The priest leads her to the exhibit's past a long line of visitors. Father Marconi invites Laura to a special encounter, guiding her to a room housing a Vatican sculpture portraying Archangel Michael's triumph over Lucifer. The priest asserts that the sculpture serves as a guardian for the Shroud of Turin. He recounts a prophecy foretelling the devil's future return as a false god to subjugate humanity. Marconi leaves to go about his business, and the student stays behind to sketch the statue. As she works, the girl hears her name and looks around, but there is no one in the hall. In the evening, a cloaked figure separates from the group of visitors, entering another room. Laura continues sketching at the museum, distracted by outside noise. Unbeknownst to her, the figure in black discreetly takes the sword from the sculpture's hands and departs. The guard urges Laura to leave the late-night exhibition, but she persists, aiming to meet Father Marconi. With some doors already closed, Laura seeks an exit and stumbles upon a black-cloaked figure beheading the guard with a sword in a corridor. Terrified, she flees and hides in a confession booth. Liz, the cloaked woman, utilizes the guard's head as a biometric key to deactivate the laser protection around the Shroud of Turin. She shatters the protective glass, prompting Father Marconi to intervene and demand her cessation. Ignoring him, Liz thrusts her weapon into him, summoning Lucifer's return. Laura, in fear, inadvertently reveals her presence in the stall with a careless movement. The woman hands the shroud to her accomplices and approaches the exit. However, she pauses before the confessional booth. Her assistant opens the door, extracting Laura from hiding. The woman commands that the girl be spared and taken with them. Father Marconi, on the verge of death, urges Archangel Michael to use his body to defeat the forces of evil. A blue mist descends, revitalizing him. Father Marconi, revived, attempts to pursue the criminals, but they escape in a car. The film shifts to a closed auction where scientist Dr. Laurent discusses cloning DNA to recreate eminent individuals. As evidence, a boy, the reincarnation virtuoso violinist Antonio Vivaldi, is presented. Dr. Laurent auctions the chance to acquire this talented child to affluent parents. Liz signals to Dr. Laurent from the audience, prompting him to discreetly exit the auction. Together they go to the Temple of Lucifer, where Dr. Laurent admires the shroud and says that all his life he has waited for this moment. Liz orders surrogate mothers to be prepared. Laura awakens in a room with other shackled girls, all frightened and unsure about what comes next. Sophia's constant crying annoys the others, prompting Laura to calm her and introduce herself to Brenda and Alina. Laura proposes they stay composed together. Men in medical attire then enter, extracting her blood for analysis. In the cathedral, Archangel Michael, embodied in Father Marconi, enters the security room where two priests watch a video of the priest's murder. They consider it a miracle that he is alive. He inquires about the guardian of the shroud. The Holy Fathers explain that the cardinal assigned to protect it is unwell. The visitor takes notes of the attack and asks about the cardinal's whereabouts. Priest Bustamante reveals he has become a hermit. Archangel Michael also wonders who is in the photo, showing the Holy Fathers the Laura Milton pass. They explain to him that it is a student he knows from the United States. Archangel goes to the cardinal's house. At the shrine, Dr. Laurent obtains the DNA of Jesus Christ using the bloodstains on the shroud. Cardinal Vincini is greeted by a visitor arriving at his house with a gun. However, when he looks into the man's eyes, he realizes that the man in front of him is Archangel Michael. Cardinal Vincini reveals the Luciferian temple through a telescope, displaying scrolls to occultists who anticipate their master's return. Centuries of attempts to free the devil through possessing children failed due to their weak bodies. Now, with DNA cloning, science can replicate Jesus' resilient body. Archangel Michael asks the cardinal to take him to the temple. The girls in the temple try to find a way out. During their conversation, it is revealed that Laura Milton's husband and son have been murdered. Vincini shows Archangel Michael how to get into the temple. Dr. Lawrence successfully extracts Jesus' DNA. In the underworld, rocks begin to crumble and the devil rips chains out of the stone. Liz instructs Dr. Laurent to ready Laura Milton for impregnation. Medics enter, but the captives resist. Another group of criminals intervenes, transporting the women to the lab. Strapped to tables, they are injected with fertilized eggs. Cardinal Vincini guides Archangel Michael to the temple's secret entrance, cautioning him about a dangerous beast. He provides a weapon that won't kill the creature but might impede its progress. The devil's supporters assemble in a vast hall with a central column. Brenda and Laura, dressed as brides, are chained to it. A colossal monster emerges from massive doors, carrying the captives toward the gates of hell, placed in a cage. The girls are lowered into a well connecting the worlds. Lucifer sheds his shackles, transforming into black smoke. At the abyss's depths, monsters grasp the women through the cage bars, allowing their master to enter their bodies. Brenda succumbs and dies, while Laura withstands Lucifer's influence. The monsters release her, and Liz, along with cult members, awaits at the dungeon exit. Laura, surviving, is placed in a glass cage. Liz reveals she will give birth to a son, the new Jesus. Archangel Michael infiltrates the temple through secret dungeons, eliminating 2 guards and donning one's uniform. He reaches the room with a shroud, retrieves it, and places it in his bag. Spotting Laura on a monitor, he tries to locate her when Dr. Laurent enters. Archangel questions the scientist about the artifact before releasing explosive gas from cylinders. As Dr. Laurent escapes, Archangel follows and throws a flare, causing an explosion when guards pursue him. Archangel Michael reaches Laura's cage. Initially joyful, she realizes it's not Father Marconi and suspects the man is part of the Lucifer cult. Laura flees, but Archangel pursues and brings her to a storage room. There, he attempts to explain his identity and learn about what transpired in the temple. They continue to flee, and in the meantime, Dr. Laurent informs Liz that the shroud has disappeared. The woman orders the return of the relic and the girl, who must definitely be caught alive. Laura and Michael flee through an underground tunnel, but Laura experiences stomach pains. Despite hearing a distant monster growl and being pursued by guards, they press forward. Confronting the monster, it seizes Laura, but Michael shoots it, causing the creature to release her. The duo hides in a narrow cliff passage. The man conceals the shroud in a rock. The creature reappears and Michael engages in combat. Meanwhile, guards capture Laura. Liz commands the captives return to her cell, and Laura warns of harming Michael, threatening the child's life. Laura is bound to a table, while Michael is chained in the temple dungeon. In the dungeon, Michael utilizes his angelic powers to break the chains. As temple guards hunt for the artifact, he discovers an underworld well. Michael leaps into it just before the pursuing monster can intervene. In the underworld, Archangel Michael battles imprisoned demons and reaches Lucifer's confinement. He discovers that the devil is now free, and the sword used to bind him to the rock is gone. The man is surrounded by evil spirits, led by the demon of greed Mammon. He says that without the sword, Archangel Michael can do nothing with him, and soon they too will go to the outside world, close the gates and leave an angel in hell instead of Lucifer. He orders Archangel Michael to be chained to a rock. The movie transitions to a laboratory where Laura undergoes an ultrasound. She vividly sees her baby calling her mom from the womb. Upon waking, Liz shares a tale of the courageous warrior Lucifer and his battle against an evil tyrant. The girl doesn't want to listen to the stories and demands to be set free. Liz promises to do so after the baby is born. In the underworld, Michael encounters men abducted by Lucifer and now living there. A girl named Doll insists the man reveal if he's an angel or demon, and he confesses to being Archangel Michael. Grunt challenges him to prove it by flying to the heavens, but lacking a sword, he's unable. During their conversation, demons attack and seize some of the men. Meanwhile, in the lab, Lucifer emerges from Laura's body and talks to her. He convinces the woman to have the baby, promising to give her anything she wants in return, even the right to kill Liz. During a medical exam, Laura gives a mysterious look to the medic, causing the lights to go out. A man screams and his body is thrown against a glass partition. Laura walks out, brutally attacking a medic in her way. After the aggressive outburst, she's horrified at what the child has turned her into. Evading guards, she barricades herself in a storage room. Contemplating her situation, Laura decides to drink chlorine to rid herself of the child. Guards, accompanied by the military, break down the door, and Liz asserts that soon Lucifer will entirely consume Laura, making her fully submit to the devil. Suddenly, the girl gains supernatural strength, throws Liz to the floor, and pours liquid on her face. Speaking in the voice of the devil, Laura relays Lucifer's command for her loyal assistant to kill her once the baby is born. Liz vows to eliminate anyone aware of the situation and promises to destroy the gates to hell when Lucifer's army arrives. To prevent Laura from ever trying to harm the child again, she is placed in a glass sarcophagus. Lucifer leaves the girl's body and descends into the underworld. He discovers Archangel Michael chained to a rock and laughs at him. After Lucifer departs, Michael pleads with humans to bring him a sword, pledging to free them from demons. In the meantime, demons approach the rock, and everyone hides. Doll and Grunt bravely carry the Archangel's heavy weapon. Demons propose a deal, promising to release the pair if they hand over the sword. Grunt contemplates the deal, but Doll persuades him to give the sword to Archangel Michael. With the divine weapon, he regains power, banishing the demons. Promising to return, Michael ascends to the upper world. In the castle, the man retrieves his hidden shroud and reaches Laura's sarcophagus. Michael swiftly rolls it through the temple corridors, reaching a laboratory where he blocks the front door. The man opens the sarcophagus, attempting to explain that Laura's child is meant to smite the devil. Suddenly, with a snarl, she throws him aside. Standing over Michael, she hears the devil's voice informing her that her waters have broken. Scalding liquid pours from Laura onto the man. Lucifer offers him to surrender, but he refuses. The woman then sticks her fingers into Archangel Michael's neck, promising that the devil and his supporters will soon rule both heaven and earth. The Archangel assures her that Lucifer won't subdue the child. Instead, the baby will imprison Lucifer in the underworld. Meanwhile, Laura's body goes into labor, and in desperation, the devil once again beats the man with the woman's hands. Liz and Dr. Laurent arrive at the lab, urging Laura to open the door. The devil asks Liz to kill the child, but she doesn't believe his words and orders to carry the woman to the altar. The devil's supporters await the newborn as Laura delivers the baby boy. Liz takes the infant, and the temple monster opens a well beneath the altar, causing the girl to fall through. The monster arms itself with a slashing weapon attached to a chain and leaves. Liz presents the baby to the cult members, proclaiming the end of God's tyranny. She baptizes the newborn Lucifer, and a monster emerges from the temple, using a massive chain to brutally attack the occultists. Limbs are severed, and blood flows as Liz and Dr. Laurent witness the gruesome scene. Archangel Michael wakes up in the laboratory and outside. Dr. Laurent kneels before the child. He kisses it, but is struck down by the monster's weapon as Liz signals to kill him. Liz then takes the child and leaves. Michael rescues Laura from the well just in time, and she runs into the yard, attacking Liz, who tries to take the baby. Liz asks Michael not to touch Lucifer, but he clarifies that the child has its own destiny and wasn't chosen by Lucifer but by God. The Archangel hands the girl the shroud and asks her to find Cardinal Vincini. Laura gets into a car and drives away. Archangel Michael encounters the temple monster, preventing him from sealing the well overrun by demons. Despite the obstacle, he finds explosives prepared by the occultists to destroy the well and activates them. Cardinal Vincini observes through his telescope as the temple of Lucifer collapses, pleased with the outcome. Vincini, Laura, and the baby retrieve the shroud in the cathedral. Archangel Michael descends into the underworld to guide the people home. Years later, Cardinal Vincini, Laura, and her son Michael stroll in the woods. Liz secretly observes, addressing the child as Lucifer. When the boy turns around, black smoke emerges from his nostrils, symbolizing the duality of good and evil within every human being.
Watch fantastic recaps by fans of the movies.
Do you think it is possible to reincarnate prominent individuals through DNA cloning? Leave your views and feedback in the comments of the video. Thanks to your recommendations, we will be able to create even better content, especially for you.